Hello YouTube! I'm so excited. This is my first ever video that I'll be making for my channel. If you don't know me already, my name is Sarah. I am the creator of Sharing the Taste, which was started back in 2019. It is now almost 3 years later. That's crazy. And I'm starting a YouTube channel. So initially I thought about doing this, but I wasn't really sure what I would really be sharing other than recipes. But recently I went through something that I think is a really good opportunity for me to get out there and share with other people that might be experiencing or have experienced the similar situation that I went through. So first and foremost, the lighting is so off. Bear with me because like I said, it's my first time doing these videos. Whatever, we'll just go with it. So yeah, my intention for this first video is to just kind of share what exactly happened to me. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that the last week I had gone through something that I wasn't really sharing much about. I just obviously was going through it, so it wasn't really first thing on my mind. But now, since I am officially 1 week and a day out from it all, I feel like now is a good time to start sharing my story. So I'm just gonna tell everyone exactly what happened. So last Thursday, I had an emergency surgery to remove one of my ovaries. Unfortunately, I had ovarian torsion, which basically means that I had a cyst around my ovary that twisted around it and basically killed my ovary. So I needed to get it removed. Going back, I'll kind of start with how things started and how it progressed to that. So it all began on November 6th. I was out with my family. We went out to lunch, and about like 30 minutes after I ate, I started getting these really bad stomach cramps. I felt super bloated and I got really nauseous and was vomiting. And I initially thought it was food poisoning. Sorry, I got cut off there, but like I said, went out to lunch with my family, felt super nauseous, was vomiting, was convinced it was food poisoning. Woke up Sunday morning, totally fine. Like I said, totally convinced it was food poisoning. Then Monday morning, I woke up and I had really bad stomach cramps again. I thought maybe it was just the food poisoning like flaring up, but they continued for like 2 hours and it got really severe to the point where I was like thrashing around in my bed, like bawling my eyes out. It was in horrible pain. I was home alone. I didn't know what to do. Thankfully, my dad had taken off school that day. He's a teacher, so he came to my apartment and drove me to the emergency room. And I got to the emergency room and they did a bunch of blood work. They did an ultrasound of my pelvic region and a CT of my abdomen. And the ultrasound showed a 7-centimeter cyst on my left ovary. And at that time, they did not feel the need that they didn't feel it was operable yet. She wanted me to follow up with my gynecologist the next day and start me on a hormonal birth control pill because I had an IUD at the time, and these cysts supposedly can be caused by hormonal imbalances. So her idea was that starting the pill right away would help shrink the cyst instead of going into surgery and having them drain it. So that's what I did. Tuesday morning I woke up, I called my gynecologist, and they prescribed me hormonal birth control pills. Started taking that Tuesday morning. The gynecologist that I actually saw in the emergency room also called me that morning and asked me how I was feeling. I told her that I was still in a lot of pain, had to take Motrin overnight, and she actually told me to go back to the emergency room. She was like, "You really shouldn't still be in this much pain. That's concerning." So I went back to the emergency room like she advised, and they did another pelvic ultrasound that actually showed the cyst was shrinking in size. So at that point I felt good. I felt okay, you know, things are looking better. My cyst is shrinking. Yeah, I'm still uncomfortable, but I guess maybe that just comes with it. And I've had a cyst before in the past, and I did experience like a similar pain. It wasn't as bad, but it definitely was uncomfortable. So I went home Tuesday night, feeling okay. Then Wednesday morning, I still was having like these really bad pains. And I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. How am I having this much discomfort, like severe pain 3 days in a row now? Like something's not right still. Even though it said that the cyst was shrinking, I still just was listening to my body, and I just wasn't convinced that things were right or things were trending in the right direction. So I called my gynecologist on Wednesday afternoon. And I told her I hadn't eaten anything since Monday morning when I first started feeling really bad. And anytime I tried to eat something, I just felt super nauseous and I couldn't hold it down, and I just had no appetite. And I was starting to get like heartburn and like weird GI symptoms now too. And she actually told me, she was like, I actually don't think it's your ovary. Like, it's clear that the cyst is shrinking as of the ultrasound yesterday, so it might be like a GI problem, so you might want to get that followed up. So I was just like kind of like annoyed, and I said to her, I was like, I feel hopeless at this point. Like, I'm trying to advocate for myself. Like, I'm telling you guys something's not right, and no one's listening to me. I'm in this much pain now. This is my 3rd day in a row feeling this uncomfortable, and no one's really doing anything. They're just like, take ibuprofen and Tylenol. That's not helping. So I was just feeling like hopeless, upset, just like praying that things were gonna get better. Wednesday night, I tried to go to sleep. I kid you not, I could not sleep the entire night. Every time I would try to lay back, I couldn't lay fully flat even. Every time I would try to like maybe like 30-degree angle, I couldn't sit still. I was so uncomfortable. I was like hunched over in my bed, like sitting up, trying to sleep, and I was like taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, like back to back. It was just awful. So I called the gynecologist around like 7 a.m. Thursday morning, and I told her like exactly what I just said. I hadn't slept all night. I'm like in really a lot of pain still. And obviously the office wasn't open at that time, so she told me someone should be calling you back within like a few minutes. So 2 hours go by, I still haven't heard anything. So thankfully my best friend's mom is an OBGYN, so we go to her for like all of these kind of issues. So I called her and I told her like the whole situation, and she was like, yeah, no, you need to go be seen by your gynecologist. You need to go into the office and they need to see you. Like, the ER isn't specialized in OBGYN stuff. They're basically just gonna make sure you don't have a ruptured appendix and that you're not dying. So I called my OBGYN back, even though I hadn't heard anything, and I just said the same thing that I had said at 7 a.m. So luckily, my gynecologist in the hospital that I had gone to are affiliated with each other, so she had been able to like see everything that was going on, my ultrasounds and whatnot. And I said to her, like, I need to be seen by you. Like, I keep going to the emergency room. They're not doing anything for me. I need to come into the office and see you. Like, something's not right. And they were like, well, we don't have ultrasound here on Thursday, so you're actually gonna need to go back to the emergency room. There's nothing we can do here, nothing we can do for you here in the office. And I was like, I'm not, if this is truly to the point where it's ovarian torsion, where my ovary is being suffocated and needs to be removed, like going to the ER and waiting 2 hours like I've done every time I've gone there isn't gonna do anything. Like, is there a way, like, I don't know, I just was like, can someone like see me like the second I get there? And she was like, okay, I'll page the gynecologist who's on call at the hospital and let them know that you're coming in. So luckily she did that, and when I went to the emergency room, I didn't have to wait fairly long. I went right in. They did another ultrasound of my pelvic region and another CT of my abdomen, and this time it did show ovarian torsion. So when they told me that, I was like a mess. Oh, the sun is like really in my eyes now. When they told me that it was ovarian torsion, I was really upset. I just felt like no one had listened to me, and now this happens, and now people are actually listening to me and telling me that, like, yeah, something is actually wrong. So they told me at that point I needed an emergency surgery. She had to explain all of the risks to me, that, you know, it's not likely, but it's a possibility that we might have to remove the ovary. A lot of the times when this happens, they try to go in there and drain the cysts and save the ovary if they can. And they first try to go in laparoscopically, so through your belly button, instead of having to cut you open. So obviously she had to tell me all that stuff. And at that point, not gonna lie, I kind of anticipated all of the worst, because I was like, this week just can't get any worse. Like, I'm at the point where it's so bad right now that I definitely feel like I'm gonna lose my ovary and be cut open. So I kind of anticipated that. And that's what happened. So they took me into surgery around like 3 o'clock. They said it usually takes about like an hour to 2 hours, depending on if they or what they need to do. My surgery was almost 6.5 hours. Yeah, or excuse me, it was almost 6 hours. So that was obviously frightening for, you know, my family. So I came out of surgery. They told me everything. I had bandages around my belly button because they had tried to do it laparoscopically, and then a big bandage right below my bikini line. It's the exact same incision as if you were to get a C-section. So the recovery is the same. It's the same recovery and whatever process as the C-section. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. Like I said, I'm a week and a day out. I actually just had my follow-up with my gynecologist earlier today. She said my incision looks good and everything's healing well. I'm still unfortunately out of work for 6 weeks, which is just sucky because it's not really ideal. But I have to let my body heal, and I don't want to put any strain on it and do anything worse to it. So it is what it is. So I guess moving forward, I just have to really like dial in and, you know, think about what could have caused this. I was talking with my OBGYN earlier, and there's a lot of things that can contribute to this, like hormonal imbalance and whatnot, like lifestyle factors, like stress, like your diet, obviously, stuff like that. And then just moving forward as far as a plan for me to prevent these cysts moving forward, if I need to go back on hormonal birth control pills, which kind of sucks because that's why I got my IUD in the first place, is because I didn't want to have to take a pill every day and give the amount of hormone, like pump hormones into my body. Because the pill, it really, I've honestly been on the pill for so long that I don't even know what my body is without it, to be completely honest with you. But I just feel like it's not great. Like, we shouldn't be pumping in all these hormones into our body. And if you think about all the like hormones that they put in like meat and all this like processed foods, it's pretty disgusting. So I really need to kind of self-reflect and even dial in with my diet. Lately I definitely haven't been great. Like, I definitely could be better. And I think that's, if this is what needed to happen for me to, you know, really realize I need to make some changes in my life, then this is what needed to happen. So I'm thinking I might try to go like pescatarian for a little bit and see if I can do that. I definitely don't think I can be like full vegetarian, but I just think eliminating things that could be causing these hormonal imbalances will be beneficial to me. And just trying to do better. That's all we can do. So I think I'm gonna do a video every week following my surgery. So I'll see next week and do another video, see how I'm feeling and where I'm at with like my recovery and whatnot, and just kind of go from there. But I really, really would want to hear from you guys if anyone you know or you yourself have experienced this similar situation, which is called ovarian torsion. So now I have one ovary, which is better than none. So I have to be thankful for that. Obviously that was a big, you know, it was really scary when they told me I needed to get my ovary removed, but I have to be thankful that, you know, I can still have a child. It is still possible. I do have one good ovary. Everything in that ovary is functioning fine. So we just have to look at the positive and move forward. So yeah, like I said, if anyone you know or you yourself went through this, please comment and tell me about your experience and if you made any changes afterwards that you thought really helped, because obviously now I want to make sure I don't get a cyst on my right ovary because now I only have one. So yeah, again, thank you guys for listening. Oh, and I also wanted to thank everyone so much for your messages. If you follow me on Instagram, sending things to me, everyone was so nice. My family is the best. I love my family so much. But yeah, everything that everyone who reached out, it didn't go unacknowledged, and I thank you all for your support. And yeah, so stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and we can follow along with each other, and I'm excited to share this journey with you guys. So thank you.